Guys, just Wisconsin Fishing HD here, and I'm going to be showing you guys my top 3 soft plastic baits for spring fishing. Start off at number 3, we have the Curly U-tail worm. This is the 10-inch. Some of my more favorite brands are the Culprit and Berkley power bait worms. Those do work quite a bit more than these. I just had these ribbon tails. These are fairly old. Not this pack is my favorite. I just got these really cheap. Usually the smaller 7.5s are what I usually throw, and I rig those up Texas rigged, pretty much any WG rig, any possibly flipping. I guess I could throw this on a jig head. I've had thrown it on a jig head and that still works. So yeah, that's just number 3 plastic. Great bait for early spring. I'd really recommend picking some of these up. You can use them all the time. I really like to work these a lot slower when I'm fishing these in the spring because they do work a lot better when they're slower fished, and that action on the tail is just nice and sudden for the fish, or subtle for the fish. For my number 2 bait, we're going with the beaver style baits. I have a couple of them right here. Some of my more favorite ones are the Berkley Havoc Pit Boss. I do not just limit these to spring. I will fish these throughout the summer and fall because they're such a great versatile bait. But you can really work these baits fairly slow and still catch quite a few fish on them. I will usually Texas or Carolina rig these. I don't think I've ever tried anything different. I guess I do punch and flip these. I forgot to mention that. And yeah, any 3 or 4 aught hook will work for these. Just depends on what you want to use and what you have money for. Is what my big issue is. So for my first bait, I'm going with the Senko. When I can, I will use the Jackall Flick Shake worms. The only problem that I have with those is the cost of those. Cost $5 for a pack, like almost 6, I think 6 or 7, and you get 3 of their little tungsten jig heads for $7. It just costs so much. And you can get a pack of these for a lot cheaper, and they do work just about equal. I know the Jackall do work better during the spring, but once you start getting into mid-spring, it doesn't matter all as much. I just know that early spring, it'll help you a lot to have Jackalls. If you've never heard of the Jackall Flick Shake, go and check them out. But otherwise, these do work just as well, and I'll usually wacky rig these, sometimes Texas. Just depends on, I guess it just depends on the conditions. That was my favorite bait, by the way. And for runner-up, I have the Fluke. I know the bass do like jerk baits in the spring. I really only throw these. Here, I'll open them up for a second for you guys. Let's get to see some other stuff. The bass do like the hard baits. Sometimes I'll throw these around docks. You can get these right under docks a lot easier than the hard plastic, or the hard dark baits. And these do work fairly decently. I hardly ever use these weighted unless I want to get them out there farther. It just takes a lot off the action. These are great baits for springtime, and I know most people know that, but they also work, like I said, for most of the spring baits. They work pretty well in this summer and fall. So that was my top 3 spring soft plastics. Look forward to making some of my new unboxing videos. I'll have some of those coming, so just stay tuned. See ya.